Good morning, hi. We're up to Shin Gimel Seif Tez Zayin, working our way through the halachas of tachshitim, of wearing jewellery in a public place on Shabbos. So we're up to Tez Zayin, and actually in Sif Yud Ches, we'll get to later, Mr. Shem, that's actually very important about wearing jewellery nowadays, because it seems to be no one, women nowadays wear necklaces and bracelets and whatever on Shabbos out in the street without hesitation, so we'll see what that's about. Says the Mechaber in Tes Zayin. Whatever a woman is allowed to go out on Shabbos, she's allowed to undo, in the Rosh Hashanah. So, for example, a shoelace comes undone, so you're allowed to do that up. You're allowed to undo the shoelace, do it up, all these sort of things. We don't say that maybe she shouldn't undo things because maybe she'll come to carry. Says the Mishnah Berurah Nun Hey, a belt, and the reason is whatever she is accustomed to remove. The concern is that if she's going out into the street, she may remove that in Rosh Hashanah and therefore come to carry. She'll forget Shul Shabbos but things which she's allowed to go out in from her home, because she's not used to taking them off in public, we allow her to sort of to undo and to put on in Rosh Hashanah or the monoshach, because either way, if she remembers at the time of undoing that it's Shabbos, she's not going to come to carry. And if she's not going to remember that it's Shabbos, even if we prohibit her from undoing it, to undo or to remove, lo yoel is not going to help because she's forgotten the Shabbos. So therefore, Chazal will not, if she's allowed to wear it, she's allowed to be matir in the Rosh Hashanah. Okay, Yud Zayin. Yesh oisrim lahavi mafteach. There are those who prohibit even bringing a key. Afilu b'chotze bias, even in the courtyard where there's an erev and you can carry because a key in biyodei, only if you're literally carrying it in your hand. But not with some sort of belt, because the concern is that if you're wearing the key on your belt in a place where you can carry, you may come to continue wearing it in a place where you can't carry. Let's see the Mishnah Berurah, and we'll need to really do the next sif to understand it better. It says in the Mishnah Berurah Nunvav, even if you've got a proper there's an erev in this chotz and you can carry. This is the second opinion which is going to feature in the next sif. Whatever they prohibited to wear as a form of clothing in Rosh Hashanah, you can't even wear in your house or in a chotz mereves, the concern being that you may come to carry it in a Rosh Hashanah. Ki im biyadei, unless you're actually holding it. Because if you're holding it in your hand, in your front courtyard where you're allowed to, we're not really worried because we're not worried you're going to take it out in the Sharabim, because otherwise what's the alternative? Otherwise you're not going to be allowed to carry any item, any kli in your own house, because maybe you may come to take it out to Rosh Hashanah. Aval b'mashe natila lotzir derech malbush dahainu kashehu tolu b'chagros, when it's hanging on your belt. Matzu kashe adam hoylech b'malbusha shechech v'hoylech lekol makom she'rogel af Rosh Hashanah. But the concern is that if you're wearing it on a belt in an unusual fashion at home or in the chotzer, you may come to take it out into the Rosh Hashanah ve'eina peish be'ems, and you won't remove the key. V'zeu atam gufa shel that's going to be the second opinion in the next sif. That what you can't wear in the Rosh Hashanah, you can't take in the bias or in the chotzer. You can't wear it like that for fear of going out to the Rosh Hashanah. Okay, now let's do the sif Yud Ches, and then we'll see this in more detail. So this is an important sif, because we're going to be talking about tachshitim nowadays. Can a woman wear jewellery, or man even, in public in Rosh Hashanah nowadays? And clearly that everyone does, so we'll have to explain why. Says the Mechaber Yud Ches, Kol she'asru chachamim lotzes by Rosh Hashanah, whatever Chazal say you can't wear in Rosh Hashanah, also lots is b'lechotza she'ena mureves. You can't wear in a chotza which is not mureves, hasn't got an eruv. Chutz mikovel, apart from those sort of woolen head coverings we spoke about, or pe'anochris and a shaitel, tahainu kli aser shekola b'toch sa'ara, that is woven into her hair. V'yesh oimrim, the kol she'asur lotzes by whatever Chazal forbade to wear to go out into Rosh Hashanah, afilu liskashet by b'bayis also. This is what we were referring to just before. Wearing it in the house, even that is also because you may come to carry on and wear it in the Rosh Hashanah. And certainly to go out, if you can't wear it in the house, certainly can't wear it in the Chotz and Mereves, Chutz Mikovel and Pe'anachris, apart from these two head coverings. And everyone, and the third opinion is that everyone agrees that you can go out. That's Hakol Mutalot says by B'chotz Afilu Ein Mereves. You're allowed to go out in the Chotz, no problem. So let's just do the Mishnah Berurah till that. We'll break it up. Nun Ches. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Lot says by Lechotze. Hainu Mebayes Lechotze, going out from your house to the Chotze. V'uadin shelo liskashit bohen b'chotzer gufa, even to wear these things in the Chotzer itself. Kasheinu Mereves mishum the damya l'rishus harabim, because it's got a din of rishus harabim. It looks like a rishus harabim. V'lohitzi lechotza Mereves, sorry, but it's taken out into the Chotzer, which is where there is an eruv, that will be okay. V'chol shkein v'bayes, that's certainly okay. Chutz mikabel, hainu kippah shel tzemesh shebetziv gimel. That's the woolen head covering we spoke about back in Sif Gimel. Vuadin itztaba, which was like the protection, a shield from the flies. We also spoke about over there. Hakosav V'atam shetirus tachshitim elu, and the reason why these are okay, are allowed. Kadei shelo tiskana al bailim lo tiskashet klal. If she doesn't wear this head covering or this shield to protect her from flies, then if she doesn't wear any jewellery, then it might be miskana. She might find sort of something displeasure, non-favor in her husband's eyes. Kliaseya, that this is this shaitel type of thing which is sewn into your hair, woven into your hair. Tolushet sovarta al saara milmala kadesha teiroy balas seya, that she sees sort of more of a full head of hair. Chutz mikibul the mutter b'chol chotze kadesha lo tiskana al baile v'chanal. Okay, now back to the Machaba. V'ha'idna, 1, 2, 3, 4 lines down in the Machaba. V'ha'idna, nowadays, Noshe Didon, our ladies, Nagu Lotzes b'chol tachshitin, they go out with all types of jewellery, no problem. V'yesh she'amru the Medina Asuros, that in reality the Ikka halacha is that it's asa, and she'kivin shelo yishmu, but at the end of the day, women will not listen. Mutav shiv shogas v'lo yomuzida. It's better not to say anything and allow it, and let them do it b'shogeg and not to be memezid. V'yesh limdu aleim zchus. And there are actually those who say, well, that we can be melamed zchus loima to say shenagas kain al pisvar achron shekosavti, that they are allowed to wear this, like we said previously in the second opinion. They never forbade going out into a chotza she'ena moreves. V'hasha the less on rishus rabim gomor, and nowadays we don't have. Says the Machaba, a proper rishus rabim. Havalei kol rishus rabim shelonu kakarmelis v'dina kachotza she'ena moreves u'mutza. And therefore, even our Chotzer Shein Mereves has got everything has got a din of a Chotzer Shein Mereves, and therefore even the Carmelis has got that din, and therefore it's allowed. And then says the Ramah, V'yesh omrim oitam lahate. There is another reason to allow women to wear jewellery outdoors nowadays. Ta'achshav shchichi tachshitin v'yotzin boin af b'chol. Because nowadays women wear jewellery even during the week, and it's very common for women to wear these things. And we're not worried nowadays that women will take off their jewellery and show other people, like back in the day, where it was a rarer occurrence to have these things, and therefore more of a temptation to take it off and show people. And it wasn't so common to wear jewellery in those days. So those really are the heterim. Why the common practice, of course, is for women to wear them nowadays in public, outdoors, because either we haven't really got a proper rishus harabim, or the whole concern of Chazal was in those days they didn't really wear jewellery so much, and the concern of the women taking them off and showing other people was much more prevalent. Mashenke nowadays women wear jewellery even during the week, and therefore we're not really concerned they might take them off and show people. Okay, let's do the Mishnah Berurah up till there. Samach base, no gulot says, Hainu. Afilu b'Rishus Rabbim Shalonu. So it's okay, the practice is that women would wear jewelry even in a Rishus Rabbim. V'ach kach chayza mechaba levaya oides haminag hazeh. And he just explains this practice. Yesham medina asuras. There are those of the opinion that me'ikad din it's still asa. V'afilu im natzir b'chotz she'enim ureves hal Rishus Rabbim Shalonu afilu im noima de'ena lo vadin Rishus Rabbim machmas she'en shishim ribui ba'ikin by b'chol yom k'raglei midba. Even if you want to tell me that it hasn't got the full status of Rishus Rabbim, you haven't got 600,000 people, walking, trespassing through it, like you had back in the Midbar. It's no worse than a Carmelis in the times of the Shas. And the Gemara doesn't mention an opinion which allows in a Carmelis, but just not in a Rishus Rabbim. And there are those who sort of find the zuchus for the practice today to give him the hasha less than Rishus Rabbim klal lekama poskim. According to many poskim, we just do not have a Rishus Rabbim in our Torah. V'leka lemigza also Rishus Rabbim, and therefore we don't need to make a gzeira. And therefore the Carmelis has got a status of a chotzer she'enim ureves, and therefore it's mutter to wear jewelry in it. Zeu bio divrei Shulchan Aruch tzorich lema'ayin b'beis Yosef af she'loshen doch k'tzas. Okay, let's carry on. Let's just finish off this sif. Umiu. However, even though there is a limud zchus, and that is the contemporary practice, miu says the Mechaber, this is just after the Ramah, Tabas sheyesh oleh chosem. If you've got a ring which has got a signet, a steining ring, a part to it, that a woman who wants to wear this, leisha she'ein oleh chosem leish. However, a ring with a chosem for a woman and one without for a man, the snan bo chayiv chatas, where the Mishnah says there's a chi of chatas to wear it. Af bekarmelis asa afilu dzon. Even nowadays, says the Mechaber, in the karmelis we don't wear it. V'uadin lechol ma'id itma bei chi of chatas, and so anything else that is about which is talking about a chi of chatas, the same is true. V'yesh mi she'omer shebizman hazeh she'noag v'anoshim lot says b'tabas she'ein oleh chosim, that men would go out with rings even if it doesn't have a chosim, hariz elohem katachshit v'shari, and therefore that is considered the jewelry for a man, and it will be mutter for the man to wear the ring outdoors on Shabbos. So lefizeh, after the kivin she'noag v'achshav anoshim, lot says b'tabas, since women also have the practice to wear signet rings, so too it would be considered an item of jewelry, and therefore women can wear that. So women should only wear those things, for example, those pins which are going to keep up her hair and things which she needs, because things which have no need at all, they will listen to us, and if you tell them, listen, you shouldn't be wearing that because it has no function, they will listen to us. Now let's just finish off the Mishnah Berurah, and then there's an important point, an important footnote. It says in the Mishnah Berurah, Samach Gimel Miu, Rotzalema, Dehasam Kashenose Kashehulavash Ein Ba Mishum Masa. When a woman is wearing these things, there's no problem of masa. V'les marak isad rabbanon, and there will only be an isad rabbanon b'shus rabbim gomur mishum dil mashal v'machavi. She may take it off and show people. V'lakach kilu b'shelanu mashe'en kein bezeh, with the mashe'en kein these tabas she'esh le'achosim for an isha or ein le'achosim for a man. Af b'karmelis v'uadin samach dalad v'uadin dafilu b'chotze osa hare samach hey u'b'chidush b'kivei ein kosov. The af she'en limchus b'zeh, even though you shouldn't protest, you don't need to protest. She'yeshlu al milis moich mikol makom bal nefesh yochush la'atzmo she'lo lotzeis b'tabas klal. A bal nefesh, says Rabbi Kiva, should try and avoid wearing rings outdoors on Shabbos at all. V'hainu chutz le'eruv. Now, if you look at 36, he's got an important point. Of a tamadov v'kosav Rabbi Kiva, she'kivin she'kosav ha'shulchan aruch la'alon she'yesh lahazes anoshim she'lo tetzayana b'dova she'en lohen to'eles. Since the Mechaber concludes that you should tell women not to wear things where there's no to'eles in them, they're unnecessary, she'bezeh tishmon lanu, because they will listen in that situation, mashma she'en somchin lechatchila al kol ha'aterim ha'mavuam b'shulchan aruch, that suggests that we shouldn't be makel and listen to the heterim brought in Shulchan Aruch. V'lochein anoshim ha'shomim l'divrei chachomim, for those people who listen carefully to the words of the chachomim, ein roi she'yismuch al ha'aterim ha'elu, one should try and avoid these heterim. However, next paragraph, to explain the more makel opinion, which seems to be the very prevalent practice nowadays, when Chazal asked wearing jewelry on Shabbos, because the whole point was that these items of jewelry were not considered items of clothing, and therefore they were forbidden even on men. Mishenagwa anoshim lilvosh tachshitim. But once women began wearing jewellery and no one protested, shuv nasu tachshitim kamalbush. These jewellery became like clothes items. Even though it may still be also for a woman, it's like a takana. Because, like any other takana, even though the time is gone, the takana has not. But for women, for men, I mean, where there was never this takon in the first place, nowadays that wearing jewelry is considered like clothing, there's no reason to asa for them on Shabbos. And therefore, the Machabak basically gives two reasons, and that seems to be the contemporary practice, that women can wear jewelry outdoors, and men as well, if it's, because there's no proper Rishus Rabbim nowadays, mostly, and also because it's become common practice for women to wear jewellery even during the week, and therefore the concern of they may take it off to show people just not as prevalent. Let's just quickly, just the last sif cotton, samach vav, or two more. Harehu lohen, hainu lefisha mashakos v'tchil al pisfir achrena the tachshit muteres, the tachshit is okay. Samach zayin mikol mokum ratzulema afilu lechol hasforas tamekinen hainu rak b'dovashu tachshit. The whole heter is only for a piece of jewelry. That when we permitted a needle to hold up, to tie things together or hold up a hair, you shouldn't need use more pins than are necessary. The okay.